The tale I'm going to tell you today came to me via my British ancestors, but it is not a British tale. It is in fact a Turkish tale. And it came to me in this way. Long ago in the 1500s, there was a war between Spain and England. And the British crown wanted Turkish support against the Spaniards. So they sent an ambassador to Turkey. And this ambassador was very smart and very cunning. So he went first to Spain. And he captured my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, who happened to be a Spanish princess. And he used her as a bargaining chip. He presented her in front of the Turkish Sultan, who then presented her to his eldest son, who married her, and they went to England, and they lived out their days in contentment, telling tale after tale. And the tale I will tell you today is one of those tales that has been passed down to me. A mirror, a carpet, and a pomegranate. Our story starts in a palace of towers, with beautiful gardens full of singing birds and flowers. The Princess Perihan lives here in this land, and everyone wants to win her hand. Princes come from far and near with gifts from everywhere. But in this story you will see what the greatest gift will be. Long ago there was a sultan in Turkey, and he had a beautiful daughter that was equally kind, intelligent, and graceful, named Perihan. And it was time for Perihan to marry. Well, the good king, being wise and intelligent, wanted to make sure that the person to marry his daughter was also kind and intelligent. So he set forth a proclamation. To win the Princess Perihan's hand, bring the most precious gift of all to my palace. Well, princes came from far and near, bearing gifts of high quality. One prince brought a bird that had all the colors in the rainbow, and it hummed as it beat its wings. Therefore he called it a hummingbird. Well, the good sultan was very impressed. He thought it what a magnificent gift this was. But he took that prince with him, and he went into his garden, and he showed him an aviary full of beautiful and magnificent birds. And he said, I don't need another bird for my aviary, sorry. So that prince left very disappointed. Well, the next prince came, and he presented an equally interesting and magnificent gift. It was a chocolate fountain that flowed with an unending supply of chocolate. Well, this pleased Princess Perihan very much, because she loved chocolate, and so did her father, but not as much as Princess Perihan. But the father thought, no, I can't do this. We're going to both get fat. So he sent that prince off on his way as well. Well, another prince came, and this time the prince presented him with an emerald the size of the king's head. Well, the sultan was very impressed, but he said, Dear prince, let me show you something. And he led him into the palace, and he showed him a chamber full of jewels. And he said, Dear prince, I can't accept this. I already have a chamber full of jewels, and I don't need another one. So that prince left as well, very disappointed. Well, it so happened that far away in another land, there were 3 princes that were brothers. And each one of them had heard of the quest to marry Princess Perihan. And they had also heard how beautiful and kind and intelligent she was. And liking a challenge, they decided that they would try for the Princess Perihan's hand as well. So they started off to the bazaar. Well, the youngest prince, their youngest brother, said he was going to come with them too. Well, the 2 older ones laughed at themselves. What can he bring? Okay, young one, we'll see. So the 3 of them started to the bazaar, and the first prince found a magic mirror, and it would show you anywhere you wanted to go. The second prince found a magic carpet, and it would take you anywhere you would want to go. Well, the third prince saw a merchant far off in the distance, and he saw that he was very old, and he looked very thirsty, as it was a hot day in the bazaar in the desert. So he said, Dear merchant, can I offer you something to drink? Yes, sonny, that would be great. I would love some water. So the youngest prince went to the fountain and poured him some water and gave it to him. And the merchant said, I know why you and your brothers have come here today. You are in search of the most precious gift for the Princess Perihan and her father. I have such a gift here, but it will cost you 5,000 gold pieces. Well, each prince had only been given 5,000 gold pieces to spend, but the prince thought to himself, I'm going to listen and see what he says. And so the merchant said, here is a pomegranate. Now this isn't any ordinary pomegranate, it's a magic pomegranate. And inside of it, each seed has a power to cure all the diseases of the world. Whomever is sick will get instantly well. So the prince thought to himself, well, this is indeed something worthy of the king, Sultan. I think I will purchase this. So he gave his 5,000 gold pieces and took the pomegranate back to his brothers. Well, when his two brothers saw the pomegranate, they started laughing. Can you believe he spent 5,000 gold pieces on a piece of fruit? Well, then they thought to themselves, we better see what has happened to Princess Perihan. I wonder, is she already married? It's been a while since we've been at the bazaar. So they decided to peer into the magic mirror, and they saw that she lay very sick on her bed, and her father was pacing up and down, obviously worried to death about his poor precious Princess Perihan. So they decided to hop onto the magic carpet, and each one of them flew to the castle in the blink of an eye. And as soon as they got there, the Sultan opened the castle gate and he greeted them, and he said, why have you come? And they said, to cure your princess, of course. And the Sultan thought to himself, all the physicians in the land can't cure my poor dear girl. What can these three do? But he was so desperate he decided to let them try. So the youngest prince presented himself, and he said, I have this magic pomegranate, and within it lies the ability to cure any disease in the world. So the Sultan stepped back and he said, go ahead, try. Well, the young prince took that pomegranate and he chopped it in half, and he fed each seed to the sick princess. And soon, after a few minutes, her cheeks became rosy and she started to have color in her face. And then she sat up, and then she wanted something to eat, and then she started to walk around. Well, the Sultan was very happy about this, of course, and he thanked those three young princes with a very strong bear hug. And he said, what gift can I give you for saving my precious Perihan's life? Well, the three of them said at that point, we have come to marry the princess. And each one presented his gift, the mirror, the carpet, and the pomegranate. Well, Princess Perihan was nearby, and she listened to each one of them talk. And she said to her father, dear father, the first two princes have presented magnificent gifts, but they are still intact. And it's this young prince, the youngest, who has presented the pomegranate that is no longer intact, and it has saved my life. I think I should marry him. Well, the Sultan thought to himself, and then he said aloud, yes, princess, you are right. You shall marry the youngest prince. So the next day there was a grand ball, and to celebrate the Princess Perihan and her newly betrothed being married, each one of the prince's brothers were made advisors to the court, and each one was able to select a noblewoman to marry as well. And they lived in this palace with all their days in happiness and contentment. But in the end, you will find there are certain things that are more important to all mankind. And with all the things you've got, you cannot buy the most precious gift of all. And the most precious gift of all is life, no matter what. Courtesy of Jenny Dooley.